What's up, everyone? You're here with I Scored One. It's Nine. I'm here with.
Uh, I'm Jake Maggio, former HBCU collegiate athlete, professional student of the HBCU grad level.
Mhm. You know the name, you know the game, but now it's time to hear the story. This is One on One with Nine. Today I'm here with Jake Maggio. He is a recent graduate from South Carolina State University. He played fall 2024 on the football team as a long snapper. He is from Bridgewater, New Jersey. Thank you so much for being here and speaking with me today.
Thank you for having me on.
So, I would love to know, how did you get the name HBCU Jake?
One of my bosses for my internship, back my senior year of college, um, just gave it to me because all I'd talk about is the SWAC, the MEAC, the SIAC, and the CIAA, and Tennessee State, Hampton, and NCAT. Those are the only college football teams I'd ever talk about. So he just started calling me HBCU Jake, and then the name followed me over to Orangeburg.
I love that name. I love it. I love it. So, I would love to talk about your early beginnings. What sparked your passion for football? How did you know that was the sport that you wanted to play?
Well, really, for me, it was the game I loved. Always started to play it in middle school. Wanted to play my whole life, but started then. I was really undersized, so a goal of mine throughout childhood always was to play at the Division 1 level. Um, I was informed of what Howard University was when I was about in fifth grade. I looked at their football roster. There was never a long snapper in all their years on the team. So from that point on, I just knew I was going to go to an HBCU to long snap, and I worked towards that every day to do so. And what really came through to me was it was more than just labeled Division 1. My HBCU experience taught me invaluable life lessons in the classroom, on the field, and in the community.
That's great. Did you have any role models growing up? Anyone that you were looking up to in the game
My
of football?
parents, but they highly discouraged me going to an HBCU.
Why was that?
They just said that's not for you. They were against it. For eventually, they saw some positive to it through friends I made, people I networked with. But yeah, they did not like it, and I still can't, still could say they're not thrilled about it.
What
Which
was the
I
moment?
obviously, I would recommend any kid go of any background just because of the historic, rich meaning to it,
Right.
and what you can really gain from being in a school that just screams history.
Right. So, what was the exact moment that, did you have a conversation with them, or did it just like you had to prove it to them, just show them through the excellence of you showing up, you having this community and building with your friends, with your teammates, and then that's when they seen it and was like, "Oh yeah, this is
Yeah,
nice."
yeah, South Carolina State, how loving the coaching staff and my teammates were to me, that really made them have a different perspective on it. My career started at the University of Maine. I was there for my freshman redshirt season. Then I transferred over to Morgan State, and that was just an overall life lesson, learning experience. Going to an HBCU was something I knew I wanted to do, something that always caught my eye, but my high school education did not prepare me for it whatsoever.
Right. I
My high school was not diverse whatsoever, but I always, the African American students, the few in my hometown, I was very close with, gravitated towards them, had a deeper friendship with them than any of the friends of my same race by far.
I can agree with that because even though I am African American, I went to schools that were predominantly Hispanic, or I was the minority. There were more white people than black people. So, with me attending FAMU, I'm going into my sophomore year there, so it's just my second year. I can also say it was a big difference for me too because I wasn't so used to going to school with a lot of people that look like me. So, it was a big change. But I'm very glad that you showed your parents, like, you love HBCU and it's very nice. There are a lot of, stereotypes and things about it. It's party schools and stuff, but deep down inside, there is a lot of good things. So I'm very glad that your family was like, yes, and they supported you at the end. That's what matters the most. I would love to talk about what was the specific moment that made you realize you could go so far with football.
Um, I think me as a long snapper in high school, I played 3 years as the varsity starter and never missed a snap in a game. And going into my senior year, I was talking to several HBCUs, but I just went with the biggest PWI that offered me for various reasons. I was talking to Howard, took a visit there. Delaware State gave me an offer with a couple staffs prior to who's there now. And yeah, I just always believed in myself. Nobody else did. Nobody. So I knew I'd find my way on the field at the highest level at some point.
That's what matters the most. Can we talk about what was the biggest challenge that you had to face and throughout your whole journey?
Yeah, probably. Biggest challenges. It's a combination of three, I would say.
Okay.
First, it's my size. I'm only about 5'8" on a good day, 160, 165 pounds. Came into college a lot smaller than that. Even I was probably 5'7", 145 when I entered college. And then a combination of mental health and some other barriers of communication and socialization that I've faced. Just and that could have been anywhere, but the HBCU community did not judge me for my differences. They accepted it. They said what it's more what I do and who I am, and they truly wanted to get to know me. High school at a predominantly white institution was the worst 4 years of my life. Every day I was made fun of, called different, called special. Never once did I have any issue with that in my time at my multiple HBCUs I attended.
That's amazing. I thank you so much for telling me your story, first of all. I'm glad that at the end you were able to find a home and a family that made you feel welcomed and respected in your space. On the topic of mental health, I did want to talk about training with football. How do you stay in a good state of good physical and mental health while playing football?
Um, it's just looking at the glass half full rather than half empty every day. Just focus on the positives and build on those, but know the areas you need to adjust at all times.
Right. Okay,
Can't
that's
look in the
good.
past too much, learn from it, but don't live in it. Don't get too excited about what's happening in the present, and don't look too far ahead into the future. That's how I realized to mentally balance out.
Mhm. So, how did you balance your life and your sports? Because it's a lot to be a football player, to play any sport in general, but I already know you have long nights, long days, fall camp, spring camp, you have summer training. How did you balance everything outside of sports and practice and games?
Um, it is, especially fall camp, early mornings, late nights. Once classes start up, you just gotta be on it, basically, is what I gotta say, is I'd always email my professors at the beginning of the course. Even if my courses were all online, I would make sure they were at some point could put a face to the name, whether it's a video conference a lot of emails, a phone call, anyway, anyhow. And I've actually written a lot of papers about my experiences and about the history and the current trends in historically black college universities.
That's amazing. I'm glad. That's good. That's great that you did that. It's very important because a lot of people would even put, football over what they're in school for. At the end of the day, you guys are playing sports, but you guys are also in school and you're paying for class and, it's other things that you guys need to do. So it's good that you were able to find a balance and also would reach out to your professors and make sure that they knew and you could stay on top of your game. That's great because you were good not only on the field but also in the class. So that's great that you could balance that. I would love to talk about the team dynamic. The difference in playing ball K through 12 and in college with different teams and dealing with different people. Could you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so like I said, as you know, I've been to a lot of places.
Right.
The current thing I'd say with team and locker room dynamic, especially at the HBCU level, it all comes down to the head coach. I played on two programs in the MEAC. Both schools I got up in front of the team and gave a speech and told my story. At South Carolina State, the whole team rose up, gave me a standing ovation. Head coach, Coach Barry, gave me a big hug. And at Morgan State, I got booed by the whole team, and the head coach kicked me off the field for telling my story because I wanted people to understand me, get to me, know who I am, and know what I'm about. And that's the whole my whole experience is Morgan State 2 thumbs down, South Carolina State 2 thumbs up.
Thank you so much for not staying in a place that you weren't welcomed. I applaud you because you didn't give up on your dream. A lot of people would have went through that experience and they probably would have stopped playing football in general, but you love the sport so much that you said, I'm not going to stop the passion. I'm going to take it somewhere else where people appreciate me. So I do want to applaud you, Jake, for that and for you being so strong to tell your story, and it's a blessing that you were able to go to an institution that truly recognized what you've been through and gave you your recognition for that. So
Yep,
thank you
thank
so
you.
much.
And more with that at Morgan State is when my mental health triggers really started to come into effect. Always had some anxiety and some other, but my diagnoses only grew when I was there. I ended up in a mental institution there, and the coaching staff at Morgan State did anything they can to absolutely ruin my name in college football. So I decided to go to the junior college level and then to a D2 school and use that film and my diploma to open up another door because I told Morgan State no matter what, I'd be back. And to be able to play in the game and win a conference championship on their field was the most satisfying thing I've ever done in my life.
Tell me about that game. How did you feel? What were your emotions?
Um, I grew a lot that day, I would say. When I was called upon in the game, my first play in, did what I needed to do. But as I took the field, there was just a glowing chant that I heard from the sideline. All 100 plus players and coaches. I just heard them chanting HBCU Jake. That gave me all the confidence in the world to go in there, do what I needed to do. And then as soon as the kick went up and through, I see the other long snapper who was the starter, Connor Lucas, running to come get me. And that was definitely a priceless moment that was very heartwarming for me.
That's amazing. I'm so glad that you were able to have that opportunity. And how does it feel being on the field in general? Can you tell me a little bit about that? Because I'm a girl, I played flag football, I did weightlifting, I did cheer, but I have a lot of family that has played football, my father, my brothers, my cousins, and it's just amazing to see you guys on the field and you guys are so happy, you guys put in so much work. I truly understand the amount of work that you guys put in as football players. So how did it feel being on that field, just, doing your thing?
Yeah. So, how it does feel? Well, most people my size don't play college football, let alone Division One. So, the taunts of doubt over time definitely lit a fire in me. And every time I took the field and got called upon in my first Division One game on September 14th against Georgia Southern, I knew it was the moment I've been waiting for my whole life. And what made me put the pads back on that past season was I did it in spite of a lot of people, in addition to for the love of the game. My high school coach and the team captains in my high school always harassed me and called me D1 wannabe. So just that right there was enough for me to live in that moment and realize this is everything I said I was going to do since as long as I could remember. Uh, Times the hyper focus playing in my position is definitely key. You only get called upon so many times throughout the game, and yeah, just locking in, trusting your technique, trusting fundamentals, trusting the prior coaching definitely makes a big difference when taking the field.
Right. So I want to ask you a question. There are probably many young men that are playing football right now that have went through that what you've went through, like the name calling, D1 wannabe, just getting treated terribly, getting booed and things like that. What advice would you give them to help them, feel not to give up, just to feel great and have confidence within themselves to keep going and find somewhere that's best for them?
That's actually great that you asked that because I actually mentor a lot of kids. One kid who's a lot like me, he was always counted out, always told he wouldn't be where he wanted to be, and he's getting there day by day. So the first thing you got to do is you got to believe in yourself because if you don't believe in yourself and you can't visualize yourself on the field in that situation, it's not ever going to happen. Uh, People say you don't got to prove anything, you got to keep going because, like I said, in my favorite movie, Rudy, the groundskeeper pulls him aside and says, in this lifetime, you don't got to prove anything to anybody but yourself. And at this point, if you haven't done that yet, it ain't ever going to happen. So yeah, you got to believe in yourself first, and then you also got to just trust the process every day because the process is long. Um, you can't be too judgmental. There's going to be hiccups along the way. You got to know that. And in terms of like the name calling, the harassment, and all that that goes on, is I think a lot of it stems on to who the coach is in the program. If they'll allow that to go on. But a big thing is, I would just advise the kids to buy in, do what they need to do, and the respect will come. It's not a measure of talent in any way. It's just at the end of the day, you put in the work you need to put in. You show up on time. Your attitude and your effort carry the most weight, in my opinion, and how you respect people at the end of the day. Those three things.
Definitely. A phrase that I live by is to never give up. Don't matter how hard things get, don't give up. Keep going. So, thank you so much for those words of encouragement. I know that there will be people watching that have went through what you are going through and they probably want to know what can they do about it. So, I thank you so much for that, Jake. Those words
Yep.
were amazing. I want to talk about your future goals. So I know you just graduated college. I want to applaud you for that. That's amazing. I
Thank
know it
you.
was a lot of time, a lot of work. And I also want to say, like, I've seen you, you're doing your coaching thing, and that's amazing. What future goals do you have for yourself? Are you going to continue coaching?
Yeah, well, right now, I'm taking steps as a professional student, and as a professional student, I would like to obtain my doctorate, and once I do that, I want to become an adjunct professor and coach the football team. Start with just special teams, and I want to get into recruiting operations and academics as well. And I would really like to be at an HBCU because it's proven there with just the history, and starting there would be great because I give HBCU coaches all the credit in the world because they truly, truly do more with way less. And that's very honorable that they could do that because they still have to play 1 to 2 Power 5 teams a year. And for the Division two level HBCUs, they're still playing an FCS program typically most years, and they don't have uh, always full coaching staffs. They don't have all the stipends available to pay support staff members. And getting hands-on coaching and operation experience and recruiting is just what I'm looking for. Uh, and you went back and asked for a lot of figure role models in my life. Um, a lot of people in HBCU athletics have, and their relationships mean the world to me, and their mentoring. Some special ones for sure is former Hampton head coach, formerly the defensive coordinator and associate head coach at Cincinnati and East Carolina, Rob Fruenty. Um, Along with Coach Barry and everybody on their staff at South Carolina State was great. The way that program was ran out of my many programs was second to none. Um, yeah, and I picked up just a lot of more mentors through Morgan State, the former team captain who entered the portal a little bit out of there before me. One of my best friends, still to this day, Stefan Tuwani. He really inspired me to take this as far as I can and just to believe in myself. So, big thanks to him. And he also taught me about the differences in culture. And he taught me so much more the life and how people interact and backgrounds people come from. And I became a lot more open minded through him.
That's great. Before we close off, I do want to play a game. It's called TNT with Nye Top Notch Takes. And basically, what you're going to do is give me your top three most unpopular opinions about sports. It doesn't have to be football, but it could be, or anything in the sports world, something that most people probably wouldn't agree with, but you stand by it and you agree.
Okay. Three of them?
Your top three.
Okay. So not only in sports, but this ties into higher education administration is HBCUs. It's going to be a little controversial, but some people in the athletic administration offices take way too much pride in their job for people that don't do their job very well. But there's some people that do a great job. Number two, I would say people that are D1 and bust or bust that aren't black should stop going to HBCUs if they're not going to buy in and learn about the culture. If they just want to label themselves Division One and take an opportunity away and scholarship from someone else, go do that somewhere else.
He said what he said. I mean, you said what you said.
Um, and then the third one in sports, most controversial. Yeah, and that's a tough one. There's a lot. Um, I would say I don't know. Well, most people are already up to it. I used to think long snappers should be on scholarship everywhere. And that's becoming the norm more and more, slowly and slowly throughout. Um, but even at the HBCU level, most Division One programs and most D2 programs have at least one, if not two, on scholarship now. So that's evolved a long way since I first came into the game.
Well, those are Jake's top-notch takes. Thank you so much, Jake, for joining me today. You already know it's 9, and this is 101.